Hello, hi, my name is Muhammad Hakim Ibrahim, number matrix 289891, and from Group A of Introduction to Political Science. Okay, today I'm going to talk about Chapter 5, Constitutional Law and Governance. Okay, 5.1, what is Constitution? Okay, Constitution. The Constitution refers to the highest written principle in a country that must be obeyed by all citizens, whether it is the government, the king, the rich, and the marhain in determining the distribution of power between institutions. Okay, next, modern constitutional law is the offsprings of nationalism as well as the idea of that the state must protect certain fundamental rights of the individual. Because of many countries right now, sometimes the constitution is taken and modeled from foreign countries. Because of this, the constitution has been broken into laws, the bodies of rules, the doctrines, and practice that govern the operation of political communities. Okay, in short, we can say that the constitution is the supreme law of a country, and the perlembagaan is needed in every country. Okay, in 1787, fundamental law in history of United States of America is created, and in the Malaysia, 1948 is the Malaysian constitution is created. And the reason why we need the constitution is because to establish a strong central government for their nation. Okay, next, the constitution. It lays down and guide the duties and power of the government and the duties and rights of its citizen and resident. Okay, in Malaysia, the constitution in Malaysia, these three bodies, which is legislative, executive, and judicial, have been divided, or we can say separate, or doctrine separation of power. Okay, in Malaysia, these three bodies are also under the auspices of YDP or the king, but His Majesty is also subject to the constitution and these three bodies. Thank you.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Anis Izati binti Rizan with metric number 285460. I will continue to the next point of this presentation with topic why do we need the constitution, or simply known as reason of establish the constitution. Why we need the constitution? It is because the constitution has written laws accepted by people living in a country. This shows the supreme law of the country. The constitution determines the right of citizen, the power of government, and how the government should function. Besides, the constitution also generates trust and coordination between the government and the citizen that lead to decide how the government will move as a country. As I mentioned before, constitution also important because it will specify the types of government for a country and how it should function. Next is lays down limits on the power of the government and down the right and duties of the citizen.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Nur Fatina Billah binti Muhammad Nazri with matrix number 286909. I would love to share about three implications of constitution laws and governance. The first one is check and balance. Next one is separating powers between branches, and the last one is defining of powers. So let's move to the another slide. For the first point, which is check and balance, there are the legislative, judicial, and executive branches. Each branch have a certain job, and the other branches have special powers to watch over it. So they are called checks and balance, and they make the branches equal so that one doesn't become too powerful. Here are some of the checks and balance that exist today. So Congress can make laws, but the president can veto those laws. The president has the power to veto laws, but Congress can override a president's veto. So Congress has the power to make laws, but the court can declare those laws to be unconstitutional. So move to the next point, which is separating powers between branches. What is the separation of powers? The doctrine of the separation of powers requires that the principal institution of state, which is executive, legislature, and judiciary, should be clearly divided in order to safeguard citizens' liberties and guard against tyranny. The Constitution contains no provisions explicitly declaring that the powers of the three branches of the federal government shall be separate. For the last point is defining of powers. First, the Constitution can limit the government by enumerating or listing its power. The government may not assume powers that are not listed or granted to it. Second, the legislative, executive, and judicial powers of government can be separated. The three main ways that the Constitution protects against tyranny of federalism, separation of powers, check and balance. The check and balance is included in the Constitution to protect the United States from tyranny. As the conclusion, constitutional law is a body of law which defines the role, powers, and structure of different entities within a state, namely the executive, the parliament or legislature, and the judiciary, as well as the basic rights of citizens. That's all from us. Thank you very much for lending your ears.